The young mountain lion, ribs protruding and flanks riddled with scratches, had been forced away from his birth range by an older male. His pride, sensing weakness, turned on him. Alone and disoriented, he wandered through the sun-baked edge of Copper Ridge, a remote stretch of scrubland where the pines gave way to cracked earth and dry streams. His stomach churned with emptiness, his breath labored under the relentless midday heat. Days had passed since his last proper meal. Then, he caught the faint scent of water, something fishy, something alive. It was a stagnant pond hidden behind a veil of cattails and bramble, fed by a forgotten tributary of the San Gabriel River. He crept toward it on trembling legs, his padded paws sinking deeper into the deceptively soft earth. The moment he stepped on what looked like solid ground, the mud gave way, and he sank instantly up to his belly. He flailed, but every frantic movement pulled him deeper. Within minutes, the muck had swallowed him to his chest. Eyes wide with panic, he let out a groan, raw, guttural, and full of fear. The call echoed through the empty ridge, over dry creek beds and under the bones of fallen trees. His head hung low, caked with mud, his mane slicked against his neck like wet grass. He stopped fighting. His breathing slowed. Time slipped by. 6 hours passed. The sun began to dip below the hills. A lone heron swooped in, landed nearby, and took off again, its screech sounding eerily like a farewell. The cat blinked slowly, sand stuck to his whiskers, his back curled in silent suffering. He didn't move. He couldn't. All he had left was the flicker of hope that something, anything, would find him before the night finished what starvation and exhaustion had started. That something came not on pause, but with the quiet creak of oars in water. Elias Morgan, a 68-year-old retired field biologist, had lived alone in a cabin near the ridge for the past decade. Each morning, he rowed out across the same murky pond to fish and listen to the world wake up. He wore an old ranger hat and a chest camera to record the wildlife he loved but rarely spoke to anyone about. That evening, just as he was reeling in a sluggish bass, a strange sound reached him. Not a bird call. Not a deer's cry. Something, dying. He froze, hand still on the fishing line, and listened. Again, it came. A low, choking groan. He stowed the rod and turned his boat toward the sound, muscles tense, oars cutting quietly through the green water. He reached the reed-choked bank in under 5 minutes. Parting the stalks, he saw it. The mountain lion, half buried in black mud, barely breathing. Elias stepped ashore without a word, as if entering a sacred place. The animal didn't growl or flinch. Its amber eyes locked on his, not with fear, but something much more fragile. "I'm here," he said quietly, dropping to his knees. He placed a hand on the matted fur, feeling the lion's heartbeat, a flutter, weak and irregular. Elias's breath caught in his throat. "You're not done yet, are you?" he whispered. With trembling fingers, he tied a rope around the lion's torso. The mud held fast, suctioning its weight down, refusing to release it. He pulled once, twice, nothing. On the third try, his boots slipped, and he fell backward, covered in muck. Still, he didn't stop. Gritting his teeth, Elias wrapped the rope around his waist, leaned back, and hauled with everything he had left. Inch by inch, the lion's heavy frame slid free. After what felt like hours, he managed to pull the cat into his small boat. The creature didn't resist. Its chest heaved slowly, its body limp. Elias stroked its forehead gently, then grabbed the oars and pushed off. The ride back felt endless. The sky had gone full twilight, and the only light was from the solar lantern strapped to the bow. Elias never took his eyes off the lion. Every pause in its breathing made his heart stop. When he reached the dock, he fashioned a plank from an old board and slid the cat down onto his yard. The lion twitched but didn't resist. Its eyes fluttered open, barely. That was enough for Elias. "I don't know where you came from," he murmured, covering it with an old wool blanket, "but this is home now." Rain began to fall as he filled a bucket and fetched a garden hose. He adjusted the nozzle to a gentle spray and knelt beside the creature, washing away the mud. Brown rivulets ran into the grass. Underneath the grime was a skeleton of muscle and bone, raw, scraped, yet alive. The mountain lion opened its eyes and met his again. No fear this time. Only exhaustion, and trust. "It's all right," Elias whispered, gently rubbing the clumps of mud from its face. For 30 minutes, he cleaned the animal with water and an old towel. Then, he stepped inside and returned with a cut of venison he'd been saving in the freezer. He laid it near the lion and sat across from it on the porch, waiting. The smell reached the cat's nose. Slowly, painfully, it pushed itself up and hobbled toward the food. It ate, slowly and deliberately, eyes never leaving Elias. The man smiled, his eyes wet with emotion. "You're a fighter, kid," he said. When the lion finished, it curled near the porch and fell asleep, breathing more steadily now. Elias made a few calls. His voice was low, urgent. "San Gabriel Wildlife Center. I have a lion cub. Weak. Needs help. Come quick." 2 hours later, headlights lit up the gravel road. A truck pulled in, and a young wildlife officer stepped out, eyes wide. "You found it like this?" "Pulled it out of the swamp," Elias replied. "Was stuck for hours." The ranger nodded in quiet admiration. "You likely saved its life." Together, they gently moved the lion into a reinforced transport crate. The cat didn't resist. As the truck door closed, it turned its head and looked at Elias one last time. Its gaze held gratitude. Something more. Elias reached through the bars, brushing his fingers over its fur. "Goodbye, boy. I did what I could. Now it's your turn." The truck pulled away under the fading crimson sky. Elias stood alone in the yard, the wind tugging gently at his coat. He felt no sadness. Just something warm and strange, like purpose. The lion, later named Copper, was treated at the San Gabriel Wildlife Center. The vet said he was just under 3 years old, severely malnourished and suffering from acute trauma. But within a month, under careful rehabilitation in a semi-wild enclosure, Copper had gained strength again. He ran, climbed, and roared as if the mud and hunger had never happened. They named him after the ridge where he was found, and the man who never gave up on him. Elias no longer lived alone. Not really. Every sunrise on the pond, every gust of wind through the pine trees, brought echoes of that quiet moment when life returned, when a dying mountain lion blinked once and chose to trust. And in that trust, Elias found something he hadn't known he was missing. Dear friend, thank you so much for watching our story. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support the channel.